modified kids and all that stuff,
Right, now what I'm saying is, you could say, you know, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It could happen, Rick.
So
come on, work with him.
So you take it to your doctors, and I don't know what they do. They inject it with something or whatever.
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah. And get a little baby, and there it is. It looks the same. Now the thing is, you separate. You both go off and do your own things.
Yep.
Right. Now, you look at Stephen. This is you look after your baby.
Yeah.
You treat it well. You give it good food and
I'm a good dad.
all of it. Ricky just gives it cheese. Right. So then it changes its looks. It goes a bit fat. You know, it gets tired easily and that sort of thing. Now, when this family,
why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
Right, this family had a horse in their house.
Yeah,
they had a little baby, and my mum went round and said, "You're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby," right?
Yeah,
and I was like, well, you know. And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying, like, abusing it, but it used to run around, it used to play out till, like, 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit...
Did it have hooves?
Yeah, no. Chase cars!
Right.
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
Now,
was it called Rover? Did it catch stick?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly in its hair...
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
and chasing cars and that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's how you're brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow. Wow. Life.
Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
Oh, God.
But am I right?
Oh, you're always right, Carl. Excellent. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve and Carl. Carl, why have you got a headache? You got a headache?
Just a bit stressful because the moves on this week.
Oh, you're moving house?
Oh, by the way, the XFM listeners came round to my house and bought the futon and table.
Did they?
Were they happy with it?
Quite normal. They were well happy.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe the luck with it.
What do you mean quite normal? What do you mean quite normal?
Well, it's always a bit scared, isn't it, getting people round.
I imagine they were scared.
Well.
And were they excited to see you? Could they? I mean, they were, could you tell that they were pretty pleased to see you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, but the fellas sort of. I mean, they brought the whole family round, which was a bit odd.
Well, it's not often they get the chance to visit a living freak.
Anyway, no, they were nice.
And you're moving now, yeah? He said, he phoned me up today, it was absolutely tipping it down. Right? He had to cycle in, right? Because he said, because of the move, he doesn't want to leave his bike round there. Right? And he said, and Suzanne, I can't say this in case he's listening, can I?
He won't know.
He said Suzanne's hired the oldest removal man in London.
You should hear him. And the thing is, right, we booked him because everyone else happened to be booked out, but this fella's free, right? So he called up this morning. I've never spoke to him, but he was on the phone. He sounded about 90.
Yeah. Carl thinks that he's going to have to do all the work.
And the thing is, right,
cheap.
It seems to be cheap.
He only wanted some Werther originals.
It seemed to be cheap because it's £50 an hour. But how long is it going to take him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's genius.
When's the move on then? When's he?
He's coming round. He came round today to bring some empty boxes, and he was struggling with them. So it actually happens on Wednesday.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
I woke up this morning,
feeling fine.
It's not a blues song. And I turned my phone on, and it was from Carl, and it went, "Forget it, I've made my mind up." And I thought,
wow,
what is that? And I
forget it, I've made my mind.
Yeah, I went, "Carl, what is it?" He went, "Oh, no, it's about the text I sent you last night." I went, "Well, what was it? I just got this text." He went, I was just wondering, I was thinking last night. He said, supposing you had to have your hands removed.
Sure.
Right? He said, well, you can either have them stay like that with stumps, or I can sew feet there. what would you have? And I was bleary-eyed, and I went, the stumps. He went, yeah. I went, all right. He went, yeah.
And then what was his follow-up text to that?
And then I got the text. It was obviously before it, and it went, and it was like quite serious. What would you do if surgery not doing your hands? Would you have stumps or the feet? Right now, the way when I said he's made his mind up, and I went the stumps, he went, yeah. I think secretly he decided on the feet, but was too embarrassed to tell me.
There's a little bit of what would you do? Because
But why did you think of this? Why did you think of this?
Girlfriend's
this come
away,
about?
right?
Yeah, no, that's not why you start thinking bizarre
I'll tell
surgery
you now,
devices.
right? I'll let you into my little mind, right? Last night, I had some beans on toast, right? She was away,
It's good already.
She was away, she had some beans on toast, she went wild.
Yeah.
right? I live on on a high street, right? So I'm washing up, I'm looking out the window. First thing that had my attention is I can look into other people's flats, right?
Yeah.
And it was weird how all these different lives were going on. I was watching them, and everybody had the telly on and was watching Volcano, right, which was on last night.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's weird, right? I can see them all watching it. And it was like a little Chinese lad who was dancing around in some underpants.
Yeah.
And then there's a little old woman who lives downstairs who was reading a book, and she's always reading a book every night. And it's like, I have a better life than her. And then there's like some sort of bouncer who's always getting ready to go out late at night with all the black on. He looks like a bouncer. So I was watching all this life going on. I thought,
Did you witness some murder while you were doing it?
Yeah.
It was like that sort of Sliver film where that bloke had loads of tellies watching people's
sure.
lives. So that was going on in my mind. And then I was washing up, and I picked up the plate, and I thought, oh, it's amazing, isn't it? The human body, the way you can just sort of, I want to pick that up, and you do.
Yes.
And the way your hands work, digits, but it's just the right amount to do what you've got to do, right? So I'm cleaning the plate.
Sorry, Carl. Stop. It's just the right amount. Might be one of the most genius things I've ever heard said. I would love David Attenborough to phone you up and say, Carl, how do I word this about the evolution of the mammalian front limb? Just go, we'll just say it's the right amount. Isn't it?
But it is.
It is,
One
of course
extra
it
would
is.
get in the way.
Yeah.
And one less would just make it that little bit more tricky when picking up a bit of a slippery dish.
Sure, or buying gloves. Yeah.
A slippery dish.
So then I was thinking, imagine like going to the doctors and he's saying, yeah, everything's all right, your heart's good and everything, but
Your art's good? What, your Larry's, or...?
your heart, you're in good form and what have
Sure.
you. It's good news. I had Giano in earlier. He's not looking good.
Yeah. I had Fat Swaller.
But you're all right, but your hands need to come off.
Right. Blimey.
But
That's opinion initially.
But I better good news, I've got a nice pair of feet I can
Sure.
sort you out with.
Yeah.
And he puts them on, and then I was thinking, right, first of all, washing up, what would that be like? I thought,
Steve.
that'd be
It's
tricky.
right. Yeah.
And then the second thing was, it'd probably ruin the sort of the shape of your jumper.
Because you had to keep putting the feet through there. Yeah.
And then I thought, but I could still cycle in
Okay.
to work.
You could run in.
Well, that's the thing.
You'd be really fast.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I thought I could still cycle because I could balance, and then I thought, but the only thing is I probably couldn't pull the brakes because of the little short things.
Yeah.
And then, like you, I thought, but then again, you'd run in half the time. So that's what was going on in last night.
Right.
That's what I was thinking about.
So did you
How
ever...
long did this take?
Well, how long does it take to wash up?
Right. Because I imagine you just being there for, like, all night.
Probably 25 minutes.
How long did the little Chinese fella dance for?
He's doing it. Last night he was at it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend never sits in the same room as him. She's always sat in the bedroom.
She's going, you dancing pants again, I go in next
Yeah.
door.
Well, she was in the bedroom. She's always in the bedroom, sat on the floor, on the mobile phone.
Right.
All
Really?
the time, yeah. It's weird how people's lives are just like... It is like that Groundhog Day thing. It's like, he's jumping about in his underpants. The old woman's sat there reading a book.
Yeah.
And that's what got me thinking about my life.
Do you think she ever
Are
goes...
you sure she's not dead? Every time you look down there, she's just flicking through it. She's just reading this book. The pages never turn. She never seems to finish it. She never moves from her chair.
Are you sure the Chinese
Her
girl's
cats
going...
are dead around her.
I'm going into next door again. That little
Yeah,
round-headed
the
fella's
smell.
looking in. He's looking in at me. The bouncer goes, don't worry, love, I'll go and beat him
That's-
up. But he's
that's
always
true.
getting ready.
That's true.
They see you staring at and washing up going, I could have feet. here, and they get scared. The old woman's dead. Oh,
Carl,
dear.
can you tell us roughly which neighbourhood you live in? So
Central.
Central, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, imagine if that little... Was he a Chinese fella, did you say?
Yeah.
Imagine if he was listening now. I'd love him to call in and explain his actions.
Well, he might be on some other radio station talking about a lad who's always washing up and looking at his hands in a mysterious way.
Yeah.
But do we know this doctor that would go, well, all right, Carl, you can either leave them as stumps or I've got every little pair of feet. Why? I mean, I told Jane this, and Jane went, is that the only choice? Could you say, could I have some dead man's hands? Have you got any? Where'd you get the feet from? Where'd you get the feet from? Can I have? What would you rather have then? Human feet or monkey paws?
Well, I mean, that wasn't an option last night. That if the doctors said...
No, it was an option last night, but don't forget, it's in your head, Carl. This didn't happen.
No, but I'm just saying, at the time, that's all the doctor had to offer.
But you know, it's your head, you can go anywhere. No, it wasn't a real doctor to offer. It's in your head, you can go anywhere. You're not trapped.
Yeah, but if you can do anything, then you'd say we'll sort us out some other hands.
Hello. You're listening to the best of, basically, Carl Pilkington.
Right, you ready then? So, just in case you haven't heard it before, I'll give you some initials of a band or an artist.
We're not doing Rockbusters now, are we?
Yeah, I thought, well, we've just...
Oh, no, we keep that going. Then we got. Well, I love educating Ricky. That's my favourite thing now.
Well, what do you want to do, Steve? I mean,
let's hear the clues.
It's just like he's sort of bigged up the prizes.
And so
people
this is only by email. Give the email address out now for people to write it down now, Carl.
Right, it's ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Only entries on email.
Yeah.
You're going to get 3 clues. You've got to get them all right.
And you win all the
You
stuff.
win all those prizes we just said. OK, Carl, go on then.
Right, and just a quick example, one of the first ones we did, it was like AK, and the clue was exploding pet,
Yeah.
and it was atomic kitten, right?
yeah.
So you understand how it works now. These are your clues. The first one, that's some nice trenches.
That army has got some nice trenches. Excellent.
Yeah. And the initials there are DW.
Do you write some of the questions for 15 to 1?
Go on.
So that army has got
Got a
some
similar
nice
phrasing.
trenches, okay.
Okay.
The second one,
What were the initials there, Carl, on that person?
DW.
DW.
Yeah. Right, the second one, the top of them curtains are all wrecked. All the materials all worn.
He acts it out, though. We've got to get him on telly. We have got to get him on telly, because his little face and his gestures...
That's the second one, the initials being HV, okay? The top of those curtains are wrecked. All the materials all worn out. Right, HV. And the final one, here's the final clue. I was in Texas the other week, right? I tripped and landed on my knees in a puddle.
What's the
Initials WH, Texas. I tripped up, landed on my knees in a puddle. So that's WH.
Incredible.
He's got it!
Is it great?
It's fantastic! It's decimal.
Okay, time to join the record. Do you remember you're playing for these compilation albums? We got the Fatboy Slim DVD, Linda Green on VHS, and of course Executive Decision, starring Kurt Russell as well.
FM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant. We're not actually here. It's the best of. Okay, what's the next one? What's the educating Ricky?
I don't know. See, like I say, I was looking around, and there's stuff that is interesting. Right, I was looking on the web.
But there's no point.
Well, it's just that I found one about...
What's the point?
About a lad who 8 years old, but he's still breastfed. Now, I don't know if you can get anything out of that.
Is that what his mum said?
So,
What do you mean I don't know that? You don't need to.
No, it's just that, you know...
Where did you read that?
That was on the internet.
Oh, well, yeah.
You're always unspecific when you mention it. It's just it was on the internet.
Well, I'm trying to think what I put in. I think I put in Y to see if I'd confuse a computer. And then,
Carl, you are...
No, I did
No, honestly.
I did a search, put in Y, and it came up with funny things that, like, why is this person doing that? Why is that? And it had a picture of this 8-year-old lad, sort of, you know, on his mum's nipple. And it was saying, you know, is this healthy?
You sure that wasn't asking you that question?
What? I put in why?
Just to confuse the
computer. Like, the computer go, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, last week I was walking home with him, and I went, he was saying something stupid, and I went, I've got a competition for next week, and it's called Carl Pilkington, Genius or Fool.
Yeah.
Right? And he went, no. I went, why not? He went, well, it'd be confusing because they say there's no difference between genius and being a fool.
You do though, don't you?
No, but it's rubbish, and people say there's a fine line between madness and genius, and you know, it's a ridiculous soundbite. They don't say there's a fine line between a genius and an idiot.
Well, the people who do are idiots.
Yeah.
So what would you do there, though, just to sort of wrap that little thing up? What would you do? That lad loves his mum's milk.
What are you asking me to come up with?
No, I'm
a
just
title for the story.
No. It's just what would you do? Right?
What do you mean? What would I do?
Well, it's causing a bit of a problem in the area. Right?
What area?
In America, I think it was.
Oh, America are a problem, are they? George Bush is worried about this kid who's breastfeeding at 8.
Imagine it like this, right?
Right. No, so, Carl, what are you asking me about this spurious story you saw on the internet?
I saw it on the internet. He likes his mum's milk,
Yeah.
and it's saying, "Is this right? Should it?"
No,
be
it's
going
not.
on?
But what
do you want Ricky to do about it? It's not his responsibility.
Yeah.
No, but the little town that he lives in, they're all causing an uproar, right? Going, this isn't right. You know,
No.
I can't let my kid play out in case he's in the garden with his mum getting a bit hungry, right? So,
Oh God.
what should they do? Because his mum's saying, well, he likes it,
Yeah.
and he, you know, what do you do?
I don't know the laws.
No, but I'm not asking you to sort out the laws. I'm just saying, if you lived in that neighbourhood, what would you say? If you went up to him and said, look, everyone's getting a bit fed up with this, look.
I'd say, what would I do? What do you mean, what would I do? what are you asking me?
Right, it doesn't matter.
No. What are you asking me? What are you asking me and Steve and the
I'm
public?
just saying, say if you live next door to this woman,
Yeah.
right? The kid's hungry, 8 years old. He's out playing on his bike, and he goes, "Mum, I'm getting a bit peckish." And he goes, "All right, son." And he starts having his milk, right? You live next door. You're putting your washing out, and you see this going on. You're getting a bit sick of it because it's gone on for months.
8 years, I assume.
Why is it your business? Why are you such a nosy neighbour that you're concerned?
What would you do, Carl? Let's turn it back on him.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What's your solution?
What would you do?
Well, I thought I'd say, right, why are you doing this? And she'd say, because he likes it. And I go, all right then, put it in a bowl first.
And you think that would sort that out?
No, because I was thinking about the whole thing, right? And you do that when you're a baby, and everything's all right, innit?
Yeah.
No one bats an eyelid at a little baby having a bit of milk from its mum's breast, right?
Yeah.
You'd almost say it was natural.
But you grow out of it. It's like you don't see. It got me thinking about things you don't see. And you don't see...
Did you put this into a computer? Show me things you don't see.
What else? Like an old man having a Twix. You never...
Oh!
So what?
Oh,
No.
You know the terrible thing about all this, Steve, is he's right.
You don't see an old
No,
man
I
eating a
know
Twix.
that's a terrible thing.
So what they have got, right, they've made old man toffees, haven't they? They've come up with Werther's.
Is that a song? Oh God! You don't see it.
So they've got their Werther's, right?
Yeah.
So,
Look at him. You
Forget
think he's
it.
giving a lecture at Oxford?
it's not going anywhere.
No,
you
go
know?
on. Sorry, go on.
I'm
What?
just saying,
Right.
you grow out of things.
Yeah.
And the old man, I'm sure when he was a kid, he'd have a Twix.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't look right, so he's having...
It doesn't look right.
So...
Right.
I don't think Werther's originals were specially designed for old people. I think they were sweets that just happened to have been made for years. That's why old people eat them.
Yeah.
They didn't go, hang on, there's a market here. I've noticed old people aren't eating Twixes. Some old man sweets.
But the little advert, he gives it to his grandson as well, doesn't he? He goes, I have a Werther's original.
No, I think it cuts though before he throws it back in his face and goes, get me a Twix.
Did you see the stylish?
You've been voting in all week, sending your emails. So here's the clips that you wanted. You've got a real problem with Rick Waller, haven't you?
I just,
And he's
he
probably-
turns my stomach.
I know, but don't...
Because he's
don't say
arrogant
that.
as well, though.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Don't explain to people that...
No,
you
he
know,
is a bit arrogant.
It's his whole thing that it's the whole package, so to speak, that you don't
Well,
like.
there's another thing in this quote, because
It's
he's
not just the fact that he eats too much.
he tried apparently to lose some weight, and he said the first month I lost 11 pounds, the next I lost a stone, but in the third my body did somersaults and I put on 9 pounds. I had a slip up. I can't say when, why, or how, but it just sneaked up on me.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Don't believe it just sneaked up on
That
him.
body's never done a somersault
No.
in its life.
No, it just sneaked up on him.
Me, yeah.
It was the cakes again.
Yeah.
It was the same.
Sleep eating.
Yeah.
It's called.
It was the KFC bucket again. It was the
Oh,
family-sized
dear.
KFC bucket for breakfast.
Dear. Poor man. The other thing is that I don't think that's a very good shock tactic for a doctor to tell a 20-something, well, to be honest, you've got 20 years to live.
Yeah.
That's not... You know,
Doesn't mean anything
and when
when
I
you're
was 20, the thought of dying at 40 was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't want to live to 40. I
Yeah.
just thought, oh, what can you do when you're 40?
Yeah.
Just laying around doing nothing.
Eating cheese. And then you got there and you discovered...
No, but someone sent me...
dream came true.
Sophie here sent me something, and she said, I realise you're not Graham Norton, but I had to send you this. And she sent me the top of a little cream cheesy thing, and it's the brand name is Gervais.
Oh, God, that is... They've named a cheese after you.
I think it's a big French company, and this is from the Czech Republic. It's all over Europe, and so
That would be a dream come true, wouldn't it, if they named a cheese after you?
No, I think it's probably, you know, ancestors, and so I've cheeses in my blood.
Sure.
Quite
It
literally.
literally is, yeah. Another heavy Friday night, was it?
It comes out of pores like those Play-Doh things. I can squeeze out different shapes.
It's Friday night. Oh,
This
man
isn't
alive.
fried.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we can't really have a go at Rick Waller. I eat too much, but
But you're not
exercise.
big. I mean, one of the other contestants on the Fat Club, Celebrity
is,
Fat
isn't
Club, is another one is Jono Coleman.
Oh, we love John.
Now, Jono, I don't know, you know Jono, he's that guy who does, he used to be on TV, and I think he does a breakfast show on a rival station, doesn't he?
He's happy, isn't he?
He's so true, and he's a really nice bloke, Jono, but...
It's funny because he does a breakfast show on Heart, which is wrecking his own. There's a bit of irony.
I love Carl.
Thanks, Carl.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I love you.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's good.
But we've met Jono a couple of times. We saw him at a couple of, not wishing to say not to show off, but a couple of awards dues.
Yeah, like that's showing off.
but
Like
they-
people would have seen dead there.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
we went to one where everyone was in like tuxedos or suits and ties. Not Jono. Jono was wearing a pair of Bermuda shorts,
Big Bermuda
and a
shorts,
Hawaiian
knee-length Bermuda
shirt.
shorts with just these little...
But I saw him again another
feet.
time, and he had short, and I've seen him since in the street, and he's all. I don't think. I'm wondering if he can wear trousers. I don't think he can actually wear trousers. I don't know if there's a medical reason for that. Whether he's just his
No,
legs are too fat.
I think the material is a waste of money. I think it's just
Yeah.
that you can get shorts that big and they're comfortable, and you know, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't want to squeeze into a tuxedo anyway. So if you can go, I'd love to turn up to those things in Bermuda shorts.
Well, of course.
Flip flops.
But do you think he started off by wearing? Maybe he just had the upper half was a tuxedo with the tie and
then the
everything,
shorts for
and the shorts
comfort.
underneath, and he would just have to come in, kind of sneak behind, you know, a sideboard,
Potted plants.
or a potted plant, or his kids bring his kids ahead of him.
Yeah.
You know,
And they
you are
just
wearing
go,
trousers, aren't you? You're
Yeah,
wearing
yeah, of course I am. Yeah.
In you go.
Kids move a bit. Well, no.
Exactly.
Of course I'm wearing trousers. Why
Of
would
course
I?
I'm wearing
And then you
trousers.
just thought, oh, this isn't fooling anyone.
So now I'm going to make a wacky effort to sort of, you know.
The next
excuse
zone
it.
is, I've heard he's going in a grass skirt and a garland around his, and he's going to come in limboing.
But you did ask if you could go to the BAFTAs in a dressing gown, didn't you?
Just for
I mean,
ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But talking about diets and stuff, right?
Go on.
They've come up with a drug that they tested it out on a mouse, right? They said, you know, it's a problem that weight is a big issue in the world, and you know, a lot of people are depressed, and that probably like Rick Waller.
Well, I'm
right?
depressed looking at Rick Waller.
Well, you know,
Oh.
I mean, you could sort out Rick by, you know, Jono is an old man, he's got loads of money.
He's not old.
No, but he's getting on a bit, right?
He's about
No, but
my
hang on a
age,
minute.
you-
What I mean is he does his own shopping, right? So I bet it's
Sorry.
hard.
What do you mean?
Because he's like, how old is he? 35. Right? He's got loads of money. He does his own shopping. So when he goes to the supermarket and he passes, you know, the sponge cake section, it must be tough when you've got loads of money to burn that you go, oh, just one more.
Yeah.
One more.
Look, so just sorry, we are getting close to libel here, I think.
No. But I'm saying how it is because
Right.
I've tried like losing a little bit of weight.
Have you?
And it is difficult when you're in Waitrose and you see a little chocolate muffin and you think, well, one more and I'll do without.
Do you like a little chocolate muffin now and
Well,
again?
yeah, right.
Is that your chocolate
Let him
muffin?
finish his point.
So the thing is, right now with Rick, he lives at home with his mum. So why doesn't his mum just say, "I'm going to buy less this week, and if you eat it all, you're not getting any more."
Yeah.
That sort that.
Does
out.
he
A
live with
short,
his mum?
sharp shot.
I bet he does. I bet he does. 'Cause
So you don't actually know if this is true or not.
no, but anyway, right. So this drug they've come up with.
They've tested this on mice, haven't they?
They've tested-
No, I'm worried if they haven't tested it on mice. 'cause
Thank God for that.
It's definitely been tested on mice.
Definitely.
They fed a mouse a load of cake,
Yeah.
right? And it went a little bit chubby, and he said, "Right, stop a minute." And then they gave it this drug that makes you lose weight.
Yeah.
And its weight went down, but the only bad side effect was its eyes were popping out.
Well, that seems to be fine then. Let's give it to Jono. There doesn't seem to be any problem.
Oh, let's Rick should get some of that.
Yeah, Struth, Doc, look at these. Oh, Jesus, Jono, your eyes are popping out. That happened to the mice. Sorry? That happened to the mean.
That's the option.
But
What do you mean that's the option?
So I love the fact that your choice is either be like a fat, happy man who has the odd sponge cake, or a stick man with eyes on stalks. I mean, Steve's chosen that.
All right, calm down.
Oh,
I
sorry,
thought we were
mate.
slagging off Rick Waller and
Sorry,
fat
mate.
people.
Sorry,
Let's
mate.
have a go at the fat people before we start
sorry.
on me, Rick.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I
Yeah,
forgot.
I mean, it's like...
Yeah.
Because I've got some issues, and body issues, you
I
know.
know.
But Rick Waller's grotesque, you know.
Yeah, sorry
I'm
about
just
that.
a little bit weird. I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, should we play a song? And
Well, I'm
sort
just a little bit offended.
All right, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington, not here. It's the best of. You've been voting in all week, sending your emails. So here's the clips that you wanted.
So let's take us back a few steps, Carl. What's the story?
Right, so I did some research.
Right. Now, let's just recap again. There was a guy you read about who had his head chopped off. He was guillotined.
Yeah.
He had said to the people around him,
Count
I am going
blinks.
to blink once I've had my head cut off to
So the
show that
brain
life
can
continue to work after
Yeah.
death. Okay, so yeah, we queried that.
So you weren't having any of it?
Well, no, possibly for a few seconds till the oxygen stops being fed to the cells because the blood has drained away. But, you know, nothing spectacular. So
Right,
go on.
well, along the similar sort of lines, right? This is quite a few years ago. This fella sort of upset the royal family doing something, right? So they said that this isn't
It
good.
wasn't Ben Alton at that Jubilee thing, was it?
I can't remember what it was, and they said, right,
That was terrible.
we're gonna cut your head off. You know, you gotta show people that you can't be doing what you've been doing.
What was this, the 1970s? What you said a couple of years ago, you mean maybe sort of...
Was it the olden days when the
Ages
phones
ago.
weren't very good?
Ages ago.
Yeah.
Days ago, sure.
So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So
Very philosophical.
Yeah, imagine that when you're watching the history.
Cut your head off. No,
This
fair
was
enough.
literally ages ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go
Simon
on.
Chalmers' History of Britain.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
and even before that, which is young before, when it was all mental and different. Sorry.
Take off, and he's resigned to it.
It's the day before. He's kind of got it into his head now that I'm not going to have my head much longer.
Sure.
So he said, let's make use of this.
Yeah.
He said, I wonder how long like the body can stay alive without the head on it, right? So they were like, oh, I don't know. So
Who were?
so
The jailers?
whoever he was asking.
These jailers with one eye.
Yeah.
Get out, son.
So he said, look,
No, wait a minute, I've got an interesting scientific experiment, jailer. Well,
Yeah.
fair enough.
What is it?
So he said, what I want to do, right? He said, you know, surely it's my last right. You know, I'm gonna be dead tomorrow.
Sure.
So let's
He
do a
didn't draw
test.
it out this long, did he?
Yeah, he said, let's test this out. You know, he said, do us a favour. He said, you know, it's my last day. What I want you to do is, you're going to cut my head off. Let's put a white line on the floor
Right.
and see if, you know, because there's no point asking how far he can sort of walk without an head if there isn't a line, because you don't know what to count. Do you know? He uses his head and he's running around all over the place. You can't really count
That's
that.
not impressive enough, yeah.
So they said, let's make a white line.
Sure.
Yeah. Who said
And-
this? He did or they did?
I think they started to join in with him and saying, well, let's make this a... you know.
Sure. You guess it. Go on.
So,
They got Norris McWhirter down. The Guinness people.
Oh. Yeah.
so they said,
let's get this white line.
Yeah.
And
Dedication's all he needs.
we'll do this. We'll do this tomorrow. And he said, all right, then, I'll see you in the morning. So we go-
I'll see you in the morning. Night, night, sleep tight. Bye-bye.
I love the fact that Carl knows exactly what was said.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. He doesn't know the story
Yeah.
or what order it is in
Yeah.
or when
But
it
he
was.
knows exactly what
or
was
who
said.
says what, but he knows the introduction. All right then, see you in the morning. Bye, little kissy, kissy, kissy. Oh, I'm not like that. Oh, you joker.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah, anyway.
so he gets up.
Do you want a paper tomorrow? No, I'm all right. Go on.
He gets up and they say, right, you know, today's the day and that. And he said, well, you know, I've got used to the idea. So here's a white line for you.
Go on.
So they go, right, are you ready then? And he said, I go on. And they cut his head off. And the body walked 32 steps without a head.
Wow.
32 steps.
Incredible.
And that's the lesson, really.
Did it get as far as it walked along the white line, did it?
Yeah, it stayed along the white line, did 32 steps, and then started to stumble a bit, and it just fell over.
yeah.
But,
It
you know,
will
it was
do.
a test that your body can still keep alive for a little bit
Yeah.
when you've lost your head.
Absolute twaddle. Absolute twaddle.
What do you reckon you can do then without an head? How many steps?
Nothing.
There'd be muscular spasm, right?
It would twitch a bit.
It would, yeah. You could not distinctly take 32 steps. The body could... Well, don't...
Yeah.
Is the doctor still on the line?
Yeah.
The fellow that bought 6 parrots.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could have
Incredible.
got 32 steps.
Right, so you
bend
don't,
dancing.
right, you don't believe that, but something that you do believe that a cockroach can live a week without an head.
It can. Slightly different. Slightly different kettle of fish there.
Why?
Wow, insect to human is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that
well-
difference.
There's not that much difference in
Well, of
some
course there
insects.
is.
Do you know that a snake has a heart and lungs and kidneys and stuff?
Go on.
No, well, I'm just saying.
So,
You're making out as if like they're a totally different like being.
species. I am making out. I mean, call me
Rick,
old-fashioned.
Do you know what you're talking about? Though? I don't want you embarrassing yourself, Rick.
Yeah, I am suggesting they're totally different beings. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Now, Carl, the cockroach is a very different thing. The interesting there is that it lives without its head, because a lot of it's on. There's some of them are phototropic, chemotropic. Some of them just literally have irritation and muscle memory. I mean, they do have a central nervous system, but it's very different. So if you lose the head, it bypasses a lot of that anyway. All it does is run around. The reason it dies is because it can't take on water. But it's very a man, right, having consciousness and then losing that. And the body's still going, no, I think I remember what I was going to do here.
Yeah, so
I'm going
recall
to
that,
carefully
walk along
walk
the white line.
32 steps along this white line. Imagine just looking down going, oh, missed a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe the head was in the corner going, left,
Yeah.
left, left. Oh, he's now...
Well, let's just put it out. I mean, if anyone listening has maybe had a relative beheaded, maybe in a horrendous car accident, where they got up, maybe they went for a walk, they had a little chat before
Oh,
they passed
dear
on.
Carl.
Get in touch. You know,
Oh,
you
Carl,
never know.
you are my favourite being. You are my favourite species.
Now, you, Carl, may not be particularly different genetically from a cockroach. You are,
Why can
generally
cockroaches
speaking.
do that? Why whoever made them went?
Let's play a record. We'll
Do
discuss
you know
it.
when I told him this fact, I send him little facts on text messages just to inflame his, interest. I just sent him a cockroach can live 9 days without its head.